Hi, and welcome to Ask the Chiropractor. Today we're going to go back to school because school started, and we're going to discuss all the safety and healthy things you can do when going back to school, going from summer back to school. So we have here, I'm Dr. Corey B. Rodnick, and hello, Dr. Rodnick, how are you?
Rodnick, doing fantastic. Thanks so much for having me.
Excellent,
Always a
excellent.
pleasure.
Yes, indeed. And Dr. Rodnick?
Dr. Rodnick, good to be here.
Yes, indeed. And Dr. Slusher.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. And it's great to be here and looking for a really exciting time here with back to school. So a lot's happening right now. So what month is this? Is this a governor? Tell us about it.
October is actually not a state, but national government. It's actually National Spinal Health Month.
Wow.
And it's part of the back to school. It's always important to keep spinal health in your consciousness. You know, always be keep in the back of your mind, kind of thing. But October is the month where we really try to push it as chiropractors. We're the spinal health gurus. So this is our month to really educate the public on the importance of spinal health.
Fantastic.
And that's part of what we're doing here today,
Amen.
Educating the public.
I love it. So what kind of things can we take back with us to all the parents out there on things they should be doing with their kids when going back to school?
So just some simple things is going to be, we have this backpack here. We're going to show a video in a little while just about how properly wearing a backpack, having a backpack that functions right is going to help in the long run with not having any problems with your back.
I know you guys do a whole thing on backpack safety and exercises and posture and all kinds of information that you do at schools. It's a kids program, and I know we do a lot with that. And Dr. Tamara, could you tell us a little bit more about the backpack, since you're the super backpack woman? Very heavy. So you want to be careful, first of all, with lifting a backpack.
Right. But the way they make these bags is there's special bags that can be made too. And you could take a regular backpack and do some of the same things that they do with these bags. But it's meant for the kids with middle school and high school and college age. So when you have the heavy books, like your science books and your math books and your big notebooks and everything else that they have to carry.
Well, my wife has been using that for college.
Yeah, she's been using it for college, so yeah.
So we'll get a kick out of what books we have.
We happened to throw a couple of her books in there.
Did
too,
you?
just to show for some testing of it.
So some of the main things that people have problems with, that kids have problems with, is one, laziness and just slewing it over one shoulder instead of putting it over both shoulders. So that ergonomically is not good for the spine because it's going to kink the spine one direction or the other, which causes spinal curvature, scoliosis of the spine. So one of the things that that's made on these backpacks is that you can pump up the handles with air so that it can protect the shoulders, because the reason that kids tend to put it only on one shoulder is because it hurts when it's so heavy and they have to slump over their shoulders, and so that's what messes up the spine the most. So one thing is that pumping these up with air is going to protect the shoulders better, which is going to protect the upper back better too, so that's really good, and cause the neck to not go more forward than the shoulder, so that you don't see the kids having as much forward head posture.
As I remember picking up my kids, there's always a couple of the kids out there walking with the big giant heavy backpack with their heads.
Yeah.
You see it. I mean,
most kids on average carry 50% of their weight in their backpack. And so, you know, that's a lot for a child to take on as far as weight goes in a backpack. And that's just on average. When you get into the high schoolers and the college students, they're carrying the same weight as almost what they weigh. So that's a lot of weight, 80% of their weight in a backpack.
And the recommendation is you shouldn't be carrying
20.
yeah, it should be roughly 10 to 15 is the target.
Yeah.
So kids carrying 50% of their weight, 80% of their weight.
Yeah.
Causes a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And let's get it a little more serious for a moment. You mentioned scoliosis, and you know, by having the backpack on one shoulder with 80% of your body weight as you're going to the car, out of the car, to the school, from class to class, and doing that repetitively like that over time will cause the spine to have this curvature that we were talking about, like this. Okay, it pulls the shoulder down. It causes the neck to go the other way. And the danger part of this and why it's so serious is because you're looking at 17 to 21 years taking off the lifespan of a spine that has those curves. So if you were to live 100 years old, you would only live to be, 83 or less than that. So that's how that works in the life insurance actuaries. So
right. And sometimes you don't feel it right away, too, what kind of damage you're doing to yourself, and you're not going to notice it until later. And so then when you wait until you're older, when it's later, it's a lot harder to correct these kind of problems. So if we make the public aware now and help parents be aware of what their kids are putting in their bags, how much they're carrying, and what kind of things they can do to protect their spine now, there's a lot better chance with the lifespan.
And to lose 15, 20% of your lifespan is like very serious.
Right. Another thing that is a common problem that most people don't think about is when you have all these heavy books in the bag, like I can feel that this is uneven right here. There's a lot of weight that goes right up against the small of your back. And so when the backpack is on, there's also a spot here too where this pumps up with air as well, which is going to protect the lower back. So that's going to be less chance as people get older of having bulging discs or herniated discs in the lower regions of the spine. So those are some of the main things.
This is one of those fancy schmancy
backpacks. But
right
it costs the same for these kind of backpacks as what you pay in regular stores nowadays. So parents need to be aware that you can actually have something nice for your child that can actually protect their spine now. So it makes a huge difference. And they make them smaller to start even at kindergarten age and preschool age as well. So, yeah.
Let me just jump in here too. This is a well-designed ergonomic backpack. There are ways that you can take a regular backpack and turn it into an ergonomic backpack. Going back to what you were saying, the couple of points that you pointed out so far, the padding in the shoulder, that's really important. A lot of kids' backpacks don't have that padding, so they get it digging in. Like you were saying, the kids don't really feel the aches and pains now, but 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road, then they have neck pain, shoulder pain, numbness into their hands. It causes all kinds of problems, and then that years down the road causes, like you said, 17 to 21 years less lifespan. So just something you can do as far as those pads go. Moms out there, just a little bit of sewing, just sew some pads into the shoulders just so they're not digging down into these muscles. Going back to what you were saying about the low back, the pad down there, just a quick, simple fix you can do for that. Just put something right there where that pad would be. So just take a towel or something, roll it up. Their dirty gym clothes, roll it up, put it right up against the small of the back.
Right there for the small of the back. Yep. Yeah. And I mean, those are things that you have,
so
that people have
back portion
on hand at home. So, and I mean, it's just simple fixes just like that, just with a regular backpack that you can do as well.
If I wanted a good backpack, how would I get one?
With these ones?
Yes.
I believe you go right onto the website.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know. I think I got that from you.
Yeah. Well, back in the day, there was one company that used to have them that would sell all of them. But now, I believe, because this has been nationally known, it's just you can go right onto the website and get it.
There's all kinds of companies that do
but,
it too now.
all parents have to do is type in air packs, and then it pulls up all the different backpacks. There's other names for them now, too. I have seen them at sporting goods stores. So, I mean, it's definitely something where parents are trying to do things for the kids that are more ergonomic nowadays, knowing what kind of damage it can, cause down the line. And so you will see these at some of the major chains, stuff like that. So, yeah.
Okay. I know my wife used that, and she really
for
was
4
happy to
years.
have it. Yeah, for 4 years.
I mean, the same bag. So
that's
they're
a
good
4-year-old
quality.
backpack.
Yeah, good quality bag. Actually, it's almost 5, but yeah, good quality bag. So. Yeah, it makes sense to make sure you have the proper backpack. And most of the smaller backpacks, nowadays, they only last 1 school year because of the way kids throw them around. And, I know when my kids get home from school, they just throw it on the floor and go do their thing. So,
I know you want to keep all the heavy stuff towards the back where the straps are, and you want to have your lighter stuff like your pens and pencils or whatever towards the outside of it. And
and I mean, this weighs a significant amount of weight. And if this has books of hers that she had from college.
Well, she can show them. Go ahead, open it up.
In here. So then, you can see how much weight. Yeah. Can you see that?
Nope.
Look at how big these books are. Plus, you gotta figure, notebooks on top of this and paper and pens and,
that
water
one
bottle
book
and everything.
weighs 10 to 15% of a
pounds.
lot of kids.
Yeah. These anatomy books are not light. Okay, this is a physical exam book.
But
so,
even for
yeah.
kids, their math book, their science book, they have
Absolutely.
books that are hardcover, heavy, big books like that as well.
Yep.
And when, like you were saying, the importance is when you're packing it, you want to pack it right. And it's just simple leverage. Just quick example. If I'm holding the spine close to my body compared to holding it far out from my body, which way is it heavier for me to hold? The answer
Much
every
heavier
time
the
is
further out.
farther out,
Right.
just because the leverage is farther from my center of gravity. So the closer to the center of gravity it is, the lighter it is. So when you're packing your backpack, you want to have the biggest, heaviest books as close to your center of gravity as you can. So you want to put them right up against your back. You want to have your lighter, like you were saying, the notebooks, the paper, a little bit farther out. Makes it a lot easier to carry around that backpack.
So I imagine the best way to find out if your child is carrying a backpack that's way too heavy would be you weigh them on a scale, and then you have them put their backpack on and weigh them again. And you want to keep that percentage somewhere around 10%, 15, 20% is the max. You want to keep it around that 10%. Am I saying that correctly?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yes.
Okay, so I mean, that's the idea.
Some easy things there too. A lot of kids are carrying around stuff that's unnecessary. Beginning of the school year, they get this list that says you need markers, you need color pencils, you need a pencil box, you need a protractor, and they're carrying everything around in their backpack all the time. Quick fix for that: leave it in your desk, leave it in your locker, leave it at home. You don't need to carry all your stuff around all the time. And a lot of kids are doing that. They just pack it till it's full and then bring it home with them. And you were talking about earlier the kids that their walk from the school to the car in the parking lot. When you think about it, some kids aren't just walking to the car. Some kids are walking home. They're walking 15, 20 minutes at a time, carrying these heavy backpacks, cause all kinds of issues.
I love the ones with the rollers. They still have some of those out there now, too.
A lot of school systems will not allow them to have those kind of bags.
Why?
So, I don't know if it's for tripping in the hallways or whatnot, but as far as public school goes, they can't have the roll bags.
And talking about those roll bags, you want to be careful with those because you want to make sure you have the roll bag that's right for you. If the roll bag that you have is too short for you, if you're too tall for it, then you're going to be walking around like this the whole time. Or if it's, you got to make sure that when you're doing a roll bag,
that it fits
again,
properly
it
as
fits
well.
properly. And most importantly is your posture. You want to make sure you're keeping proper posture when you're carrying a backpack, rolling a backpack. No matter what it is, you want to keep that posture because again, if you're walking 20 minutes walking home like this with on one shoulder, like this carrying your roll bag, that's 20 minutes there to and from every day, 40 minutes a day. So every day you're walking around like this. Again, cause issues and stuff.
Devastating, yeah. Okay. Well, I think we covered backpacks. What else is important here?
Well, actually, going along with the backpacks, we actually have a quick video that I was hoping to show. It's designed for kids, but really kind of shows all the points we were just pointing out, just kind of brings them all home. So if you don't mind, we can show that video.
Let's roll it.
All right.
Oh, yes. You have no idea what's going to happen to you.
So you guys football?
Oh, not really.
That's a shame. But at least she's here now to help us out with basketball season.
Yeah. She's gonna be picking people up and throwing them at us.
Yeah, just like takes him by the face with his hand or something.
I have a victim.
Dude, what are you doing? No, you don't even need that. No, put some of that stuff back. Put some of that stuff back. Oh my god. Oh my god.
The master will be so happy.
Come on, man. Come on. What is that thing? Come on, this way.
Got you.
I'm going out for a while.
Okay.
Hello, Principal Johnson.
Professor Posture, thank you so much for coming on such short notice. What do you think the problem could be? Could it be that it couldn't be the bully?
Please, don't even utter those words. First, I have to conduct a preliminary investigation of the school campus before we can determine anything.
Well, let me show you the crime scene.
All right. Ooh, the smell. Here, stay here. Let me check this out. Poor guy never stood a chance. There's simply too much weight. Let me look at it. Oh, just like I thought. What's this? Oh, gosh. Take this back to the lab. When will they ever learn? I'm sorry, Principal Johnson, but your worst fears have come true. Your school's been attacked by the bully backpacks.
But how could this be? I thought things like that only happened in the bigger cities. I mean, what are we going to do? How do we rid our school of this beast?
I'll do my best. I'll need to interview the students tomorrow and study them in their natural habitat. I'll be here first thing in the morning.
Okay, well then I'll see you first thing in the morning.
Yeah, I'm probably going.
Hey, ladies, how many straps do you have on that backpack?
2.
Then why aren't you using both of them?
Because it looks cool.
Oh, really? No, it doesn't look cool? When you only use one strap, the upper body tilts to the weighted side, and the spinal bones in your upper back misalign or subluxate. This may cause your shoulders and upper back to tighten, leaving you with a nagging pain.
Ooh, thanks.
Hey, Quasi-Rolo, need some help? Huh? Did you know those roller packs can be just as bad for you as a regular backpack? Huh? Look the way you're all hunched over. Your body's twisted around, dragging this thing through the halls. Have you even considered how heavy it is when you carry it up the stairs? Why don't you let me demonstrate what is happening to your spine when you drag this around? Your spine is twisted from top to bottom. This rotation places stress on the supporting structures, causing subluxation throughout the spine. When this occurs, you may have pain while sleeping, sitting, or even playing. Subluxation will also weaken your whole body, lower your immune resistance, and lower your energy. Nerves from your spine go to every part of your body, your heart, your liver, your spleen, and when they get irritated from carrying an overstuffed backpack, that's bad news for your body. would you mind if I assisted you in packing your backpack?
Sure, why not?
Did you know there's a right and a wrong way to pack your book bag?
No.
First, you need to put all the heavier items on the bottom and against the back to keep the weight off your shoulders and maintain better posture. It's also important to make sure you lift the bag properly. Face the bag, bend your knees, lift with your legs, always keeping the bag close to your body, okay? Now off to class. Stop right now. Hey, what are you guys doing? Don't you know that you're hurting yourself by carrying so much weight in your backpack? Take those backpacks off and let's see how much weight you're carrying in them. When you carry too much weight, it puts stress on your back and causes a subluxation in your spine. A subluxation occurs when your spinal bones misalign and irritate the exiting nerve. When this happens to your nerves in the neck, you can experience headaches, neck pain, even tingly fingers. Sabrina, would you mind if I weighed you in your backpack?
No, not at all.
Please step onto the scale. Wow, 152 pounds. Now step off, take your book bag off, and let's try again. Wow, 123 pounds I see. That means you're carrying over 25% of your total body weight on your back. Have you ever tried an ergonomic backpack?
Oh no, what is it?
This pack has the same amount of weight as your old one. How does it feel?
Well, great, but why?
Because an ergonomic backpack redistributes the weight from your shoulders and back to the stronger muscles in your legs. Kids, don't you know that you're only supposed to carry 10 to 15% of your total body weight in your book bag? Principal Johnson, I've cured your school of the effects of the bully backpacks.
Great.
Professor Posture, you have foiled me once again. But this is not the end. Definitely not the end. I'll be back. Ha 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 ha.
Thank you. How was that? So welcome back to Ask the Chiropractor, and we're talking about back to school. Now, this video and another video that you'll see, well, no, we're not going to play that one either for the schools, but in our kids program, this is part of it, and there's a couple other ones, and they go into the World Health Organization has their spinal hygiene program, posture, and with a whole lot of information, and it's great for kids. We've done it, maybe to 50 schools around this area.
Quite a few, yeah.
And if any school wants to have that done, or the PTO is asking us to come to the schools, we'd be happy to do that at no charge, and it'd be our pleasure.
Yeah, it's an excellent program. We do it at elementary schools. It takes about 45 minutes. We do a full school assembly. Some schools we've been to will split it up. We'll do 2 assemblies right in a row. But we've seen great results. The kids really get into it. The kids really seem to understand it. The teachers like it. So it's a great program. So yeah, anyone in a position to bring in school assemblies, if you're interested, this is a great one to get involved with. Really, really great information for the kids.
You can call any of the offices to do that too. And it's fun for us. We have a good time doing it.
And it's fun for the kids.
And it's great for the kids. Oh, they get a lot out of it. As a matter of fact, what was one of the comments to one of the principals?
Yeah, a little while back we had a teacher coming into the office, and there was a kid who was at the assembly one time who was waiting in the principal's office, and one of the teachers walked by, and she was carrying her purse, her bag. She was carrying a couple things, and the student made a comment to her, Miss So-and-so, that's not the proper way to carry those bags. So the kids really get it. It's really important information, and we present it in a way that they understand it, and it's a really great program.
Absolutely, just great. Something else for parents, you want to check your children's posture. So it's very important that you take a gander at them from time to time. You might notice a shoulder lower. You ask them to stand up straight, march, close their eyes, march like a little soldier, and then stand straight like a good soldier, and you then keep their eyes closed, and then you take a look at them. So sometimes they'll be like this. So that means their posture is already goofed up, or the shoulders down. You look at the shoulders, or the hips as well. You can look at the top of the hips, and if one's higher than the other. Obviously, those are all chiropractic problems that are easily corrected. And in other words, I was talking earlier while you guys were playing this, and we were talking about, if you have a chiropractor parent at home, you can get away with a lot more, even though we're always, diligently trying not to let that happen. But you can get away with a lot more because when they come home, we just fix them. So that's the kind of attitude we all have. But on the other hand, for you guys, you want to be watching that. So if you do see someone's posture, like say their shoulders up high on one side and low on the other, an exercise would be to stretch it the other way. Or if their head's tipped this way, you want to stretch their neck this way. If their head's forward, you want to have them do and we're going to go through some exercises at the end of the program as well.
And chiropractic care is great for kids. I just want to point out it's a lot easier for us as chiropractors to keep kids in line. It's easier to grow healthy kids than it is to fix the broken adult. So like you were saying, a lot of times when we were kids growing up with you as a chiropractor, as our father, we would do things that would throw us out, and you'd put us right back in right away, as compared to a lot of kids that they do something to throw them out, and then they do another thing to throw them out, and they do another thing, and each one bails on the last one. They keep getting worse and worse. It's a lot better for kids to make sure they're staying in line as they're growing. Makes it so when they're 20, 30, 40 years old, they don't have all those same issues that a lot of 20, 30, 40-year-olds have.
And chiropractic care is extremely safe. Very, very safe and extremely effective. So, you shouldn't have a fear of taking your child to a chiropractor. It's very healthy, and it's very safe, and it's very effective. And I know all you guys have been adjusted since you were little babies. So anyway, then they came out okay. So yeah, it's amazing. And I know in China we did all that research over there. They did research on me, but checking to see what the chiropractic care was doing for what, and it was incredibly safe and effective compared to alternative care, like medical care, medicine, or surgery, or any of those things. This is so much safer than anything like that, and we get results. So anyway,
Absolutely.
yeah. And then now another thing is when you're going back to school, a lot of kids have like couch potatoes is what I'm talking about here. So a lot of kids didn't get out and exercise like they would have. So when they go into sports, they're not up to where they should be before doing sports. In other words, getting your body primed and ready. Maybe you guys could talk a little bit more about it.
Well, my daughter had that problem. Not now, she doesn't, but she did have that problem where she would sit a lot more because she enjoys doing artistry and reading and those kind of things. And so then when she wants to do something like try out basketball or something, her body's not up to prime to be able to handle that sport. So just being able to train with her, like we're getting ready for a 5K, just training with her, I'm seeing those changes in her body and her posture as well. Because running and walking and doing these kind of things help to develop better posture. So those are all important things too. So yeah.
And jumping back to the couch potatoes, so definitely important to stay active. But for the couch potatoes, something you want to focus on if you are a couch potato, which again we don't recommend, is your posture. When you are a couch potato, you don't want to be slouching. You don't want to be sitting crooked. So real quick, I just want to do an experiment with our viewing audience. I just want everyone in the audience real quick to just sit up straight. Just take a minute and sit up straight. And now here's how this works, is that anybody in our audience who had to move to sit up straight wasn't sitting up straight. And I'm willing to bet that's a good chunk of our viewing audience. So you want to make sure you're keeping your proper posture. For those people who it's uncomfortable to sit properly, you know, if they say, oh, well, if I sit up straight, that's uncomfortable, that's sore, that means they already have spinal issues. Their spine doesn't sit straight, so when they sit in that position, it causes aches and pains. That means that they're probably a prime candidate for needing chiropractic care.
Absolutely. That was very good. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. So next, what should we talk about next?
Real quick, while we're talking the scoliosis, a lot of the posture stuff, I just wanted to point out we didn't talk about it today, but if I can see the spine real quick. So we didn't actually mention what happens when you have the scoliosis and things. So say you get these lateral curves in the spine. What happens is nerves on either side will start to pinch off. And it's not just the aches, pains, and the postural changes. It's actually, if you look up at this chart here, we show all the organs, all the systems in the body are actually run from the nervous system coming through the spine. So the back aches, the back neck pains and things, that's actually just a warning signal of something going on other than that in your body.
Very good.
So I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
That's really what we're working with, more than just the posture, all that things. We're on the long run in your body.
What you
properly.
feel is only 10% of the nervous system. 90% is a split between the autonomic nervous system and the motor function. So
right.
And the autonomic nervous system is all your organs, everything that runs you.
So when you feel something, you're missing the other 45% that's your organs, or the number 45% that's your muscles. So yeah, I was just working with an athlete this weekend, and you know, his whole thing is, you know, keeping everything working properly. I mean, he was doing mountain climbing and stuff, and you know, and keeping doing the running and all that to keep the oxygen levels high inside the body. And anyway, interesting, very interesting. So this is, what is it called? It's chiropractic or
National Spinal Health Month.
National Spinal Health Month. So everyone should be a little more aware of their spine this month and take a gander, see how you look. And for the adults as well, you can look in the mirror, do the marching thing, close your eyes. You know, you're marching in place, and then you open your eyes, and am I straight? How am I doing? You know, do I have things I should be working on? And fantastic.
Now, one more thing I want to point out too, we're still talking about these kids and getting back in school. Now they're back with their friends, playing with their friends and such. I want to point out some other habits that a lot of people don't consider what it's doing to the body, but a lot of kids are hard on their bodies. If you ever watch a kid, you know, they go out for recess, they fall down, they hit each other, they get hit by the soccer ball, the football, they roll down the slide, they roll down the hill.
You have something on this.
Actually, yes, we do. We have another video, actually, if you don't mind showing it.
I think it'd be great.
Okay.
So why kids should seek a chiropractor? This is the reason. And welcome back to Ask the Chiropractor. Wow, is that something? I'm telling you, that was one heck of a roll and a jump and a kick and a land on the head.
And when you're watching it, it seems like it's silly, like, these kids are falling out. But when you really think about it, these kids, they're doing damage. And kids, they don't just, they don't feel the aches and pains. They'll cry for a couple minutes. But most of these kids probably bounce back just like that, out doing the exact same thing 2 minutes later. But the damage that it does inside is so much more. And that's why we always recommend kids getting checked by chiropractors, because it's really important, and we want to prevent those kids from growing into further issues.
And if if you multiply that by time, 20 years down the road, 30 years down the road, some of these things that seem incidental can become devastating. And then the parents, the adults come in and they say, why? Why didn't anyone tell me that? And well, go ahead.
And these kids, they're doing it every single day. You don't just fall off your bicycle once. You fall off of it over and over and over again. You don't just, slip on the ice. When you're a kid, going playing on the ice, that's what you do. Is even if you fall down, you get back up, you fall again. You get back up, you fall again. And it's just playing, and, oh, that hurt a little bit, but then you're back out, same thing. In the long run, like I was saying, for kids who are getting chiropractic care, they throw themselves out a little bit, they get put back in. They throw themselves out a little bit, they get put back in. The kids that aren't, they get thrown out a little bit, and then they get thrown out a little bit more, and then they get thrown out a little bit more, and it leads to something more.
Now, chiropractic care for kids is like the best thing you can do, to keep their spine lined and keep their nervous system functioning at an optimum and to be healthy. It is just such a great thing. I think it's better than brushing teeth.
And my personal testimony, like you were saying,
you should brush your teeth, though.
Very similar.
You've been adjusting all of us since we were little kids. My own personal testimonial, I've rarely been sick, had to skip school or whatever. When I was a kid, I never went to a pediatrician. I was never an unhealthy kid. I've never taken a prescription medication. I consider myself relatively healthy, and I credit that to growing up with chiropractic care, keeping my nervous system in line. The human body, or bodies in general, vertebrate bodies, they have something in place to control, regulate, take care of the body, and it's called the nervous system. And as long as you take care of your nervous system, your body takes care of itself, and that's how you truly get and stay healthy.
Well, a well-kept secret is you've never actually had a pill or a shot. You've never been vaccinated, nothing.
Yep.
You have nothing.
And I still consider myself healthy. I don't get the aches and pains that a lot of people are getting. Like I said, I very rarely get sick.
I know your sister and yourself have, there's studies being done on you. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We took your blood and gave it to these people. Anyway, I still don't know the results of that. I think they're waiting.
Yeah, and the study was the difference between children who had been vaccinated and children who had been unvaccinated, and they were looking for different components in the blood. They were looking for mercury levels in the blood, different things that stick around in the body long after the vaccination's been given.
I think there must be something else to that study, because why haven't they released anything yet? It's like, it might be one of those 50, 100-year studies where they're looking at it, how long you live for and all this other stuff. I'm not sure. But anyway, kind of cool.
Yeah, excited to see how the results end up there.
Yes.
Hopefully it comes out while I'm still alive.
The other ones didn't make it. So anyway, going back to school, is there anything you want to say about that before we move on to the next topic?
Like I was saying, I always think it's important that everyone should just keep their body, their posture, just keep it in the back of your mind, just stay conscious of it. Even if you're not making giant leaps, just the baby steps are really important, every now and again.
The awareness of it.
Yep, just the awareness is just enough to notice, every now and again, and say, oh, you know what, I'm not sitting straight, and sit up straighter. Really makes a big difference.
Your kid's sitting on the couch playing some little game.
Always to the one side of the couch.
Always on that side of the couch. Make them switch to the other side of the couch. Let their head hang the other way. Build the muscles evenly that way.
A lot of the posture stuff, it is literally that easy, where if you're like this, easiest way is to go the opposite, retrain the muscles to make them even.
Very simple. Yeah.
Going along with that, not necessarily talking about kids anymore, but a lot of times when we go and we do a walk through it, like a factory or something, that's one of the issues, ergonomically, that we point out. Factories call in chiropractors as the spinal experts, and they have us look around and point out what's not ergonomically right. So they're saying, oh, we're having all kinds of back injuries at this station here. And you look at that station, there's 2 people on this side going like this. There's 2 people on the other side going like this. And every few months, they keep getting back injuries. And we ask, well, how often do you switch sides? Oh, never. This is my spot. I'm always here doing this every single day. Well, quick fix, switch sides. See how that does for you.
So hilarious and serious.
Absolutely.
It's very funny though when you look from our perspective. We look at us and go,
And it's just
McFly.
simple
It's like, come on, McFly. Okay, pretty bad. It's like, oh my God. Or the people shoveling, they're always shoveling the same way. I go, wait a minute, you got to switch arms. Once in a while, you got to switch arms. I don't like it that way. Well, yeah, but.
Or even instead of throwing it to your left, start throwing it to your right.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. Anything different. So I know we wanted to talk a little bit about, and at the end, we're going to go over exercises. But for now, there's a new bill being passed right now. Dr. Rodnick,
so there's actually 3 of them going through this month. October 9th is when it ends, but it's a bill about phantom insurance, which is so you buy an insurance. It says, oh, we cover this, we cover that. And then when you finally get into an office, like with us as chiropractors, they'll say we have coverage for chiropractic. When the patient finally gets in the office, we go to look at their insurance, and it actually has a copay that costs more than the actual service. So there's really no coverage, even though it says that there is. So we're working on putting through these bills with the state legislature that they won't be able to do that anymore. And if they say there's coverage, it'll cover it. And you won't actually have to pay more than the service in order to get your coverage.
A long time ago, it used to be in there saying it has to be at least 50% or less. So in other words, if you had, let's say, a $100 copay, and the service that you went in for was $50, so your copay could no longer be $100. It would have to be only $25 or half the amount of the service. So that whole idea of saying, because you're signing a contract with these people out there, and these insurance companies are signing contracts is what they really are. And that contract says that it does cover it. However, they have it set up that you're not going to get coverage for that. And they know that in advance. That's called phantom insurance.
But the person buying it didn't know that in advance.
Correct.
That's where the big problem comes from.
And that's...
And in insurance, it's called phantom insurance. In any other business, it's called fraud.
Fraud would be a good word for it. But from the legislature, they know it as phantom.
Same thing, not necessarily just with the copays either. With the high deductibles, the same thing. The new law, what they're instating is going to be if 80% of the people on that policy don't meet their deductible, then that's too high of a deductible, and that's fraud. Because let's say I have a deductible, it's $5,000. My insurance company knows in the course of a year I'm not going to be spending $5,000 on healthcare, so my insurance, in all actuality, covers $0, and I'm paying my premiums every month, making sure I'm still insured. But if 80% of the people who have that $5,000 deductible aren't going to meet it, then that's not a realistic deductible.
Oh.
Yep.
So that's going to be not just for chiropractic, that's for medical and everything else out there.
Yep.
All healthcare.
Yep. And we'll know how that goes by next episode, because it's going to be over here in about a week.
That's kind of fun, though. I love doing stuff like that. I'm into it. I got to protect the public, and you want good health care. So, good health care means different things to different people.
And the public doesn't even really know that this is going on either. They, oh, I have a high copay, that's what it is. But again, it's fraud. The public should be outraged. It's horrible. They're being taken advantage of. So hopefully, when this bill passes, there's going to be a lot more awareness out there. People knowing, what's going on with their insurance, what they have, what they don't have.
A lot of times they don't tell you what you have too. I know, like I have a lot of auto cases, automobile accidents out there, and they come in and they don't know what is allowed for them, what they have. They only know what they know. So I know we have little booklets on it, and we have little, I know I always inform the patient. I don't know about all of you guys, but I do. And, what their rights are. What did they buy? What's in their contract? They need help at home. They might, they get
Gas
mileage to and from the offices,
yeah.
any medical. So, anyway, yes.
One more thing I want to throw on there too. The one that really gets me that a lot of people don't know about, they have no idea what their insurance covers, is when they come in, they say, well, I was in an auto accident, but it's not going to cover my health care because all I have is the PIP plan.
That is what covers, yeah.
PIP is personal injury protection. It only covers your medical. And I say, oh, well, that's not going to cover anything. I just got bottom of the barrel. I just got only PIP. And, well, that's what it covers is your health care.
Oh, you know something I want to bring up? I know it's motorcycles are over with, but there's a new thing in Michigan where if you get motorcycle insurance, you're not covered for medical unless you pay the few extra dollars for that extra rider on the medical. And the medical cover is great when you pay that few extra dollars. And if you don't, you're completely not covered on medical. So that's very interesting to know. So I have people come in with zero coverage and people who have like unbelievable $500,000 coverage. So it only costs maybe $14 a year, something crazy. Anyway, something you need to be very aware of on that one. So that's it for our legislative moment. And let's move on to back to our going back to school, and we're going to do our spinal hygiene exercises, who have been promoted by the World Health Organization, Life University, and a lot of chiropractic offices.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
All right, and welcome back to Ask the Chiropractor. What we're going to get into now is some spinal hygiene exercises. Like we were saying, these are the only exercises that are approved by the World Health Organization. And what these are, sort of like you have dental hygiene, these are spinal hygiene. And what we do for spinal hygiene, it keeps your spine healthy. We recommend dental hygiene. You brush your teeth 2 or 3 times a day. We recommend that you do the spinal hygiene just as often. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off in a position we call our inner winner position. So it's going to be standing up nice and straight, perfect posture. Bring your shoulders back, bring your head back over your shoulders. Stand in that perfect posture. Now our first couple exercises are going to be called our flying friends. They're called our flying friends because we have 3 flying friends. We're going to go from biggest to smallest. Our biggest flying friend is going to be called the eagle. So we're going to do, again, we're going to start in that same inner winner position. And we're going to bring our arms up to our sides. And as we go up, we're going to tilt our heads back. Feel it really stretching in your spine. Go back down again. We'll do it just a couple times, 2 or 3 times. Go back up again. As you go up, you take a deep breath in, tilt your head back. And when you go back down, bring your head back down, not looking down, but just back to neutral, and breathe out on the way back down. And that one's our biggest flying friend. That's called the eagle. Okay. Our next flying friend is going to be called the hummingbird. The hummingbird, again, same thing. We start in that inner winner posture, nice, perfect posture. What we're going to do is we're going to bring our arms up to our sides. We're just going to make small circles backwards in between our shoulder blades. Really focus between your shoulder blades. What we're doing here is we're really trying to strengthen the muscles in our back to avoid this posture there. That's too common with how computers are, video games, driving in your car, you name it, everything brings you forward and down. So we really want to strengthen the muscles in our back. A couple of different variations we can do here. We can bring our arms up a little bit, just kind of work a different muscle group. We can bring your arms down a little bit too, work a different muscle group. Another variation we call the drunken hummingbird. For the kids, we call it the happy hummingbird. Basically what we do is just kind of fly a little bit crooked, just kind of move side to side. Keeping motion in the spine is so important. Okay? Always make sure you do everything equal side to side. Our last flying friend is going to be called the butterfly. So to recap, we got the eagle, we got the hummingbird. Last one's going to be the butterfly. What we're going to do here is we're just going to kind of link our hands together, put them back behind our head. Now we're not going to be pushing with our hands forward into our head. We're just going to be pushing backwards with our head into our hands. And just kind of put a little bit of pressure and then relax it, then a little bit of more pressure. What we're doing here is we're strengthening these muscles in the back of the neck to avoid, again, that forward head posture. So again, we got the three flying friends. We got the eagle, the butterfly, and the hummingbird. And we're going to move on here. We're going to do what we call the star exercise. So for the star exercises, we're going to stand, again, same inner winner posture, but this time we're just going to spread our legs a little bit farther. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring our arms out, turn our bodies into a star. And these ones are just important for keeping motion in the spine. So this one's going to be called the twirling star. Twirling star, we're just going to kind of twirl our body back and forth. Again, just kind of keep that motion in your spine. We're not jerking one way or another, just slow, controlled motion side to side. Again, you want to keep it even on both sides. Okay? So this one's the twirling star. The next one in the star series is the tilting star. And for the tilting star, same thing, same posture. And what we're going to do is just kind of tilt side to side. And the reason where people get issues in the spine when it pinches off their nerves is because their spine gets fixated, it gets stuck in one position. So we just want to make sure we're keeping motion in between each of the bones there. The last one of our STAR exercise is actually a little bit different. This one's actually a cross crawl exercise, which actually is really important in development, in brain development, nerve system development as a whole. And basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using our right arm with our left leg and our left arm with our right leg. So what we're going to do is we're going to be in that same STAR position, except this time we're just going to kind of bring our arms up a little bit more again. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be bringing our right arm to our left leg and our left arm to our right leg. And just kind of go back and forth. And just by using the two opposite sides at the same time, it actually forms connections within your nervous system, makes you more balanced, more coordinated. Really important for kids to do, but even for adults to do. Okay. So those are our STAR exercises. We have our flying friends, our STAR exercises. Last thing we're going to get into are just core and balance exercises. So first one we're going to do, going along with that balance, this one's going to be called the tightrope walk. What we're going to do is we're just going to kind of put our feet in a straight line as if we're walking on tightrope. And what we're going to do, put your arms out if you need a little bit more balance, and go ahead and just kind of lean forward. Now, this is really strengthening our cores because our body's working to hold us up. Always make sure, again, even on both sides. If you know you have balance issues, you want to make sure you have something around you that you can grab onto, a chair or a wall, something so you're not risking falling down. If you have great balance, something that you can do is close your eyes while you're doing that exercise, and it makes it a lot harder. It'll put a little more strain on your core muscles. Again, though, if you're going to be closing your eyes, make sure you have something, a chair, a wall, something near you in case you need it. Our next core exercise is going to be called something that we call throwing water. And what we're going to do is we're just going to stand in that same inner posture and just light motion side to side, just as if we're just kind of flicking water off of us. And just, again, motion is so important. It's that couch potato that really gets fixated, so we want to make sure we're staying active. The last one that we're going to go into, our last core exercise, is going to be called the triangle stretch. We're actually going to turn our body into a big triangle. So what we're going to do, put your left arm on your left side, bring your right arm up in the air, and just kind of lean to the side there. See how your body's just a big triangle. And again, it's really strengthened my core, strengthened my legs a little bit on this one as well. And again, as always, do it the same on both sides. All these exercises, do them 2, 3, 4 times all together. Do it in the morning, do it in the evening. You know, every time you're getting ready in the morning, brush your teeth, do the spinal exercises. Getting ready at night, brush your teeth, do the spinal exercises. Really makes a big difference, especially for kids, but for everybody. I do these exercises twice a day. Really important to keep your spine healthy. Okay. And we'll be right back with more Ask the Chiropractor.
Welcome back to Ask the Chiropractor. Dr. Rodnick, Dr. Slusher, it's been very enjoyable. I always love doing back to school. It's so great.
Absolutely.
It's one of my favorite things. And it's been fun, and thank you for the exercises. And thank you for the information. And we'll all see you back here at Ask the Chiropractor next month.